Good morning and welcome to the third class of this free cybersecurity learning. Our week 3 instructor for today is no other than Mr. Maxwell Omondi. I hope I pronounced it well. Mr. Maxwell Omondi, you are welcome, sir. He's a license specialist to FIN and an expertise in sub operations. He's going to be taking us through to this class. There's something interesting. So let's start with his quote. He says, here's the thing. I'm quoting Mr. Maxwell's quote now. Here's the thing. You can get by without knowing Linus. You really can. But do you want to get by, or do you want to be the person who actually knows? Or do you want to be the person who actually knows what they are doing when the Wi-Fi drops? Question mark. That is Mr. Maxwell's quote. So I'm hoping that I'm even sure he's going to explain all of this to us. So we are introducing him with his quote, and I want us to know that Mr. Maxwell is a friendly neighbor Linus instructor. He's here to help us to navigate the file system without crying and write bash scripts that actually work and unlock that special confidence that comes with knowing you don't need a mouse. Knowing Linus just hits different. It makes you you. So, Mr. Maxwell, thank you for accepting to take us through this class. We are so grateful and we are welcoming you. So, everybody, please let's welcome Mr. Maxwell Omondi. Mr. Maxwell, please, on to you.
Okay. Hello, hi everyone. Thank you for hosting me. Okay, so we'll start. Before I start, was everyone able to install Kali Linux? Because most of the things we'll do, it's purely practical. I'll try as much as possible to avoid theory. From reactions, how many people are able to just raise your hand if you're able to install Linux, so that I know how we move. Okay, let me hope there was someone who installed Kali Linux because they'll be my co-host, sort of. Yeah. Okay, so let me share my screen. Before we start, I have some small quiz to make things interesting. And this is not a lecture; it's a session where we collaborate. So it's not of sort of teacher student sort of thing. It's a collaboration, and I'll be happy to have people help where necessary. Let me copy the link for you people so that you join. I've pasted a link to the quiz I want us to do before the session, just to warm up for fun. So you can check the message box, click the link, join. I hope everyone can see my screen, right?
You can see your screen, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. We'll start in 1 minute. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Okay. I guess we'll start. Okay, so it's something. It's not related to what we'll do. It's just for fun. Get things interesting. So the first question: what has keys but can't open locks? Often used in tech. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Yeah, you'll answer that. Five. Three more people.
So you want me to answer the questions?
Yes, you to answer the questions. Just click on the answer.
A computer keyboard. I think it's a computer keyboard.
Okay, fair enough. Everyone's supposed to answer it on their own, actually. Okay, computer keyboard. Yeah. Next. Select all that are types of computer storage devices. So which one of these are devices used for storage in computers? Web browser.
I
I don't
think
know.
the
Pardon?
hard drive,
Uh-huh.
USD, and RAM.
RAM.
Please, hello. You don't need to say the answer out. Just answer it on your own, please.
Thank you. Just answer it on your own, then we'll recap at the end. Hard disk, USB disk, web browser, RAM. Which ones? 3 souls now, 3 more. 2 more. 2 more people. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Okay, fair enough. And the last person. Okay, next question. Arrange these tech terms from the smallest to the largest storage capacity. So from these three, arrange it from the smallest. Which one is likely to have the smallest storage capacity all the way to the largest? Make sense? Nice. 6 more people. Four more people. But the cloud stories. Cloud is a very interesting topic. I know it's a topic on its own. Nice. 3 more people. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Okay, fair enough. Next question. What do you call a joke that involves computer programming? What do you call a joke that involves computer programming? Hmm. A binary joke, a hardware joke, a tech joke, a code ban. Hmm. So this it's sort of a general question. Makes sense. 10 seconds. There's actually no wrong answer. Okay, there's a wrong answer, but getting it wrong isn't really the point. The point is having fun. Sorry. 10 seconds. 5, 2 seconds. Nice. Next. Which of these are programming languages? Photoshop, Python, HTML, Java. So this is an uncommon opinion. I know HTML is a language, but I don't really believe it's a language. I know it's an uncommon opinion, but let's see. 10 seconds. Nice one. 4 more people. 5 seconds. 3. One more person. 2. 1. Okay, fair enough. Next. Sort these devices from the oldest to the newest. Which one came first? Is it the first smartphone, first laptop, first personal computer? Who came where? Who came first? Hmm. Mhm. 10 seconds. Let's do this. Let's do this. 5 seconds. 4. seconds. 3 more people. 2 seconds. Okay, last 2 people. Last person. Okay, fair enough. Next question. What is the main purpose of a firewall in network security? What's the main purpose of a firewall in network security? Hmm. To speed up internet. I don't know. To connect devices wirelessly? Maybe. To block unauthorized access? Fire. I don't know. To store data securely? Makes sense. 10 seconds. 5, 4. Last 2 people. Nice. Which of these are common internet protocols? Which of these are common internet protocols? What's an internet protocol? Protocol. A protocol. These are rules that determine communication. Communication. Sorry. Say I'm from Nigeria. For me to be able to speak to a fellow Nigerian, what's the language in Nigeria? What's the local language in Nigeria? Is it Nigerian?
Is English.
Is it really English? Like there has to be a common.
Maybe
Is it?
Pidgin.
Pardon?
Pidgin. Something, yeah. Is English, but not necessarily English. We call it Pidgin.
Pigeon.
Something like
So
that.
so protocols determine how I'll communicate to someone locally. If it's someone who speaks Pidgin, I can't speak Kiswahili or Swahili from Kenya. We won't communicate. So protocols determine how we will communicate with each other. If it's Pidgin, it's Pidgin. If it's Swahili, it's Swahili. Thank you. 10 souls. Okay. I think that's that. Let's see. So Emmanuel was the first person. Emmanuel, you're rigging the game. Followed by Chukudi. Hey, you people, names are hard. Chukudi, how do you pronounce that?
Chuku Diego.
Chukudiego.
Diego.
Chukudiego, okay. Followed by Ibirunke. Oh, okay, fair enough. So, guys, that was that. There was nothing technical about it. It was just for fun, make things interesting. Because this is not a boring class. I don't expect this to be boring. It's supposed to be interesting. This is Linux. Okay, we are done with that. Let me close this. So we'll start. So today we will be talking about Linux. And if in case you have any question, feel free to unmute while I'm still talking and ask the question. Because chances of me seeing your hand raised from this screen are close to zero. So feel free. Any question, throw it amidst the presentation. So today we're going to do Linux fundamentals. I know this class was supposed to be about offensive Linux, but for you to be able to do offensive Linux, you ought to know the basic Linux, because everything on offensive Linux depends on primary Linux. So yeah, my name is Maxwell. As they said, there's nothing interesting about me, only from the idea that I know some Linux, and we are all going to be on the same level shortly. So why learn Linux? Why learn Linux? Why is it important to know Linux? So the cloud, 90% of the public cloud runs on Linux. Oh, we have AWS, we have Azure, we have GCP. Which other cloud do we know of? All these cloud providers run on Linux. 90% of them run on Linux. The web. Over 96% of the world's top 1 million web servers are Linux based. So, let's say you're a programmer, you're a developer, sorry, programmer, or you are just into tech. Chances of you coming across Linux are over 50%. Actually, let me put it at 60. Because anything you'll work with is next to Linux. If I may ask, how many people used Linux this morning? Most people will say no, but ideally, we've all used Linux this morning. Your Android phone. Your Android is embedded with the Linux kernel. I'll explain that shortly. So we've all used Linux. The soonest, like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. 100% of the world's top 500 supercomputers run Linux. So if you come to think of it, anything commercial runs on Linux. Something funny, even Windows, the Windows servers, the Windows HQ, the Windows services, they run on Linux. Funny enough. But guess what? Windows also produces Windows servers, but they still use Linux for their own services to render their services. Why? Question mark. So Windows macOS makes you a user. Linux makes you a creator or a super user. You don't just use the OS. You control everything. Let me shorten the other half. So Linux it's a very useful skill. Currently, there's what separates a good user and a super user. Someone who's good at anything, and the next person in tech is Linux. Okay. Um, you know how to write JavaScript. You are a good developer, but can you run Linux? You know how to operate a Linux server, because you will meet a Linux server. You can survive without, but in one way or the other, you will meet a Linux server. What will you do about it? You have to know how to use it. It's like the black belt. In karate, we have belts. There's orange, there's white, there's blue. Now imagine you have a black belt. That black belt is Linux in tech, because you'll meet it everywhere. So yeah, you get the idea. What is Linux? Is it a kernel? Is it an OS? Question. So first let me describe what's a kernel. So a kernel, let me use this analogy. It's like the engine of a vehicle. Okay. Linux isn't an OS on its own. It's a kernel. That's why I said earlier, your Android phones are Linux based. They run on the Linux kernel. What do I mean? The engine of that Android phone is Linux based. So you have a car. Which car do you have? Whichever. So Linux is the engine. It's the core feature enabling that car to run. So Linux, it's not a full operating system. It's the core engine, what makes your hardware, or what talks to your hardware. So we have this sort of analogy. You have a computer. The computer has all the hardware. We have CPU, we have RAM, we have storage, and all the other relevant key features. So the kernel The kernel is what controls how you communicate with these hardware features. It controls how the CPU works, controls how you'll access the RAM, modifies how the CPU clocks and everything. So Linux is your engine. It's the engine. Now the OS, the car. Now this is known as GNU/Linux. So now the OS, the GNU/Linux. Now Linux has an OS. It's the kernel plus system tools plus desktop environment plus apps. That brings up the GNU. I don't remember GNU in full. It's GNU in full. It's some very funny term. It's GNU, not Unix. That's GNU in full. GNU, not Unix. Uh-huh. So though the terms aren't really necessary, you don't need to know them. They don't matter because this Linux is not a history class. It's a hands-on class. Like show me what you know. That's it. So the OS, it's the kernel plus system tools plus desktop environment plus apps. So which brings us to something called a distro. What is a distro? So Linux has over 600 plus distros. A distro, a distribution, it's a customized version of the Linux kernel bundled with specific software. Why do we have so many? Because Linux is open source. So let me explain this way. The kernel, I said, it's like the engine, okay? So you have your engine. Now, what OS do you want? You have your engine. You can put it in so many cars. You can put it in a Toyota. You can put it in a Mercedes. You can put it in a which other car do I know? I'm not really a car guy. You can put it in a Subaru is Toyota, I believe so. You can put it in, let's say, Rolls Royce. So you have your engine. You decide to put it in a Toyota. Which Toyota? Toyota Fielder. So what's your car? What's your car type? The car type is Toyota Fielder, running the Linux engine. So let's use Kali Linux. Kali Linux is your OS. The distribution you're using is called Kali Linux. Kali Linux is under a family known as the Debian family. Runs which kernel? The Linux kernel. Okay, let me use a more friendly term. You have milk. For milk, you can consume it in very many different forms. You can decide to drink it as it is, as milk, or you can decide to make cheese. It's still milk, but in a different form. You can make cheese. So instead of drinking milk, you consume it as cheese. You can decide to make yogurt. So instead of taking milk as it is, you're taking yogurt. At the end of the day, the person using cheese and the person taking yogurt, they're consuming milk, but in different forms. Why? I like yogurt more than I like cheese. That's the point behind it. You can decide to convert it into, let's say, I don't know the term. In Kenya, they call it maziwa mala, fermented milk. What do you call it? Fermented milk? Milk that has been, I don't know, stored, left to ferment.
Wara.
Wara.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can decide to take your milk, ferment it into wara. At the end of the day, me who's consuming yogurt and you who's consuming wara, we've consumed milk, but in different forms. The only difference is I like wara better than I like yogurt. So the idea is it depends on your specifications. What's your end goal? There are some people who can't eat cheese, but they'll eat ice cream. No, they'll eat cream. They can't take cheese, but they'll take cream. So at the end of the day, you've consumed milk. What changed is your preferences. What do you prefer? Why? So it's the same. So Linux has so many distros, and the reason why it's because Linux is open source. So yourself, you can also decide. You customize your own operating system. Just get the Linux kernel, the source code, then tweak it based on what you want. Then name it however you want to name it. That's how whoever came up with Linus Torvald, he was a very generous man, very generous. He was like, guys, I've come up with the kernel. You do whatever you want with it. I don't care, so long as you're happy. Uh-huh. So if you wake up tomorrow, decide, you know what? I don't want to use Windows. I don't want the ones that are already there. I want my own. Let's say I want my own called Maxwell, and I'll name it the Maxwell's OS. Yeah, it's doable based on what you want. So the specializations we have desktop. These are user friendly ones. We have Ubuntu. We have Mint. Though for me as a person, another unpopular opinion. This is what I normally say, but I don't know. It doesn't apply here. Anyone using Mint, Linux Mint, might as well just use Windows because Linux Mint, it's just a decorated Windows. It's just Windows decorated, literally. Come on, when you use Linux Mint, you can't say you're using Linux. You're just using another version of Windows. So we have Ubuntu, we have Mint. So for Ubuntu, uh, I have a group of friends. Uh, Whenever we find someone using Ubuntu, though this is a bad habit, it's a very bad habit. If you are a guy and you use Ubuntu, you are gay. Why are you using Ubuntu? Ubuntu is, but it's a good entry if you're trying to learn Linux. But you might as well just go straight ahead to Kali Linux and die. That's the idea. Uh-huh. So we have servers. These ones are stable and secure. We have Red Hat Enterprise Linux and Debian-based ones. We have privacy. Those ones that are for privacy. So if you're someone who doesn't like being traced online, you don't want to leave any traces. Let's say you're a clickjacker or someone maybe who you do stuff online that you wouldn't want people to know about. You can use the Tails OS. So we have the ones for pen testing, like Kali Linux. So yeah, it's up to you. So there's also one called Bieber. Oh, it's Justin Bieber or what? Bieber. It's named after the musician. I don't know why they came up with one named after him. I've not used it, so I can't tell. So the Linux family tree. So this is how it looks like. At the very top we have the kernel, Linux. Then we have the families. Okay. So we have Debian family, Red Hat family, Slackware, Arc, and Gentoo. These are families. Heads up, you don't have to know these. They are not important, but you might as well just know them. But not necessary. No one will ask you about these. Just too much theory. But yeah, doesn't hurt to know. So under the Debian family, we have Kali Linux. So today we will be doing Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is it's Debian based and it's specialized for offensive security. So it has the tools that enables you um, to perform offensive security stuff. That's pen testing, ethical hacking, illegal hacking. By the way, I don't think there's anything as ethical hacking. Hacking is hacking. Whether it's ethical, whether it's unethical, hacking is hacking. So according to books, there's ethical hacking. So I guess for today we'll follow the books ethical hacking. Is ethical. We have Kali Linux here. We have Ubuntu. We have Parrot OS. Now Parrot OS it's also used for offensive cybersec, but um, uh, there's normally discussion between the two, Parrot OS and Kali Linux. May stick with Kali Linux, but Parrot OS is also another one, a very nice one. We have Debian Pure. I've not used this one. So for Red Hat, we have Fedora, CentOS, blah blah, Alma Linux. So here, under the Arc family, if you're someone who would want to come up with your own OS, you will fall under the Arc family. Because now this is where the tweakable stuff is. You take up the Linux kernel, tweak it to your liking, install it. But now the problem, you'll come up with your own OS, enable everything, but then you'll realize, oh, your new Linux can't connect to Wi-Fi. Guess what? You have to tweak the drivers. You'll literally be tweaking everything. Drivers, uh, how updates take place, literally from ground zero. So, so if you're someone who likes tweaking stuff, Linux is for you. Can come up with your own stuff. For these other ones, I've not interacted with them as much. But for today, we are doing Kali Linux. Nice. Mhm. Introduction to Linux and navigation. So this session will be divided into 4, and this will be the first one. And for each session, I'll want to take a maximum of 25 minutes. So, and heads up, whatever we'll do here today, it's the completely basic knowledge. Whatever you learn here, just know it's basic knowledge. It's supposed to help you get around the Linux OS. And another thing, 80% of learning is self-learning. You'll always learn more when you're doing by yourself than when someone is leading. As for my case, Linux, I never really learned it from school. Though my background is in cybersec, I didn't really learn it as much in school. I learned it on my own. Practical works, and yeah, just be curious, try out stuff, install Linux, you'll boot it on your machine, see what happens. Um, but hey, don't install it as a main OS on your laptop for starters because you'll have a hard time. But you might as well still do that. Who knows that might go. So yeah, that's the idea. So session 1, introduction to Linux and navigation. Session 2, file and directory management. Session 3, permission and users. Then the last session, working with processes and system monitoring. So yeah, let's head to session 1. So introduction to Linux and navigation. Um, Definition, I don't think this is important. Linux is open source based on Unix. That's not important. Linux was created by Linus Torvalds in 1991. Not as important as such. So, features of Linux. Linux is free and open source, unlike Windows and the rest. Linux is stable and secure. That's why 90% of servers run on Linux. Linux is customizable. You can customize it to whatever you want, so long as you know what you're doing. So distributions, we already talked about that. So we'll move straight to basic Linux command. So the first command is pwd, print working directory. So the purpose of this command is to show you where you are. So you will see this in a short while. the purpose of the pwd command, in full, it's print working directory. It's supposed to show you where you are within the terminal. Okay, so let's demo that. I hope everyone can see my screen. Is the terminal visible enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So the pwd command is supposed to show where I am. So currently, I'm in the anonymous user directory within the home directory. So in short, I am in my home directory. In Linux, we have directory. In Windows, we have folders. They are the same things, but in different places. So when you are in the shell, this terminal, you're always jumping around folders. You jump from one folder to the other. Okay. So again, pwd, I'm in my home directory. This is anonymous user. Let me go somewhere else. Yeah. Then pwd. Now you see this backslash means root directory. I'm in the root folder. You will see this in a short while. Root folder is where everything originates from. I'll show you the tree shortly. It's at the top. So here I'm at the very top. So pwd, where am I? I'm in the root folder. Done. Okay, next command. So whenever you're lost, you don't know where you are, just type pwd. It'll show you exactly where you are. The ls. The ls full is list files. The ls command, it's supposed to show you the contents of the directory you are inside. Okay, the contents of the directory you are inside. Let me just finish this thing. Then cd, it's change directory, jump from one directory to another. Let me just go through them at once, then demo at once. The clear command, it's supposed to clear a terminal. Okay, let me do the 4. So we have the, which one was the first one? ls. So the ls command is supposed to show you the contents, the directory you are inside of. So ls. So currently I'm in the root directory, and what does the root directory have? It has all these. The root directory has all these other directories. That's the ls. So whenever you are in a directory and you want to know the content of that directory, you run the ls command. The other command was clear. No, was it? Not cd. So currently we are in the root directory, but let's say I want to jump into another directory. Let's say the home directory. Just type cd for change directory, then home. pwd. You see, I'm in the home directory. Okay, let's list the contents of the home directory. ls. Inside the home directory, we have this directory called anonymous user. Let's jump into it. cd unknown. Oh, sorry, unknown. And another thing, if you are typing something long, so long as you've started typing it correct, like for this case, I want to cd into the anonymous user directory. So I type cd, then I start typing unknown, then press tab. When I press tab, it auto-completes it because anonymous user exists. So it auto-completes it. Enter. pwd. We are in the anonymous user directory. Then when your terminal is all filled up, you use clear and it clears up everything. Where are we? Anonymous user directory, list the contents. These are everything within this directory. And if you're keen enough, you'll notice these ones are in blue. This one is in white. These are in blue. It's not coincidental. It's by purpose. This one is in white. This one is in blue. This is because the ones in blue are directories. The one in white, it's a file. Let me use Windows terms. The ones in blue are folders. The one in white is a file. And in any Linux system you go to, it won't necessarily be blue. Maybe you'll find green, but the idea is color coding. The file will have a different color from directory. Okay. So right now I'm in the my PWD. I'm in my home directory, anonymous user. Let's say I want to get into the documents directory. CD, then DO, then press tab to autocomplete. So for this case, I've pressed tab, but the terminal isn't sure enough which directory I want to get into, because these two, they both have DO. So I'll have to type W, then press tab, you see, it completes it. Enter. So where are we now? In the downloads directory. And if you're keen, you'll notice whenever you do PWD, it gives you a relative referencing. It starts from the root. This is the root directory, into the home directory, into anonymous user directory, into downloads directory. It's this way, from home all the way to here. Like it's a full map, it's a full path of where you are, with the reference to the root directory. Okay, clear. ls to show the folders we have. So currently in my downloads directory, there's nothing. Nice. Let's proceed. We have the clear command. We've used that. Nice. Now, sorry, the Linux directory structure. Now, this is how the Linux file or directory structure looks like, and it's not exactly the same as this one is. This is just a rough idea of what to expect. Okay, it's like a map. It's a template. It's not exact in everything. It's a template, but be sure it looks something close to this. So the very top here, this at the very top we have the root. This is the very top, the root directory. Okay, so within the root directory we have all these other directories. Okay, so let me show you that. So when I cd to the root directory, that pwd, you see this one, root. So currently we are here, up here, the root directory. So if I am within the root directory and I want to see the contents of the root directory, what do I do? Anyone? I am in the root directory. I want to see the contents of the root directory. Anyone? Any idea? You can type in the chat box or you can just unmute. Let me rephrase my question. I am in the root directory here. So I want to see the contents of the root directory. How do I do this? Anyone? Any trial? Try. It's a nice. Uh, ls. So Odusanya, PWD is used to show where you are. Like, hey, I'm lost. Where am I? Type pwd. It will show you exactly where you are. So it's ls. So if I type ls there, it shows me everything within the root directory. Then there's another thing called flags. So this one you'll know them with time. Whenever you type a command, you can append a flag to it. Like optimize the command so that it gives you more details. So let's say ls underscore, there's the long command l. So what this does, it basically these are this, whatever is being displayed here and up here, they are the same things. Only that this one, it's more detailed than the upper one. Okay? Only that this one is more detailed than the upper one. So for example, you can see this -l flag, it has more information. Don't worry about these ones. We'll know them shortly. So for example, let me take this one. This D, it stands for directory. Okay? D means directory. So this boot, it's a directory. Okay? Then these other things from there to there, these are permissions. Okay? We will know them shortly. So permissions, the first 3 bits are for the user, the next 3 bits are for the group, the final 3 bits are for any other person or other. Don't stress about that. I'll elaborate it better soon. So don't worry about that. That's that. So if I want to know the contents of the root directory, type ls, put there. So let's say I'm here and I want to jump, I want to get into the home directory. How do I do that? Currently I'm in the root directory. I want to jump into the home directory. How do I do that? Anyone? Any trial? I am in the root directory. I want to jump into Udusanya. Thank you. Anyone? Any other person? Okay, let me put this here. Nice. So I'll type cd home. Then there's something with Linux. Udusanya, you've tried. Very accurate trial. In Linux is very case sensitive. CD and CD are two different things. Okay? We have CD, we have CD, we have CD, sorry, CD, we have CD. These are 4 different things. The first one is different from the second one, different from the third one, different from the fourth one. So another key detail with Linux, it's case sensitive. Okay? Linux is case sensitive. So it's CD home. Sorry, CD home. Where am I? Okay, I'm already in the home directory. So let's say I want to jump into the download directory. CD down, press tab, it auto completes for you. Enter. Yeah. So as I've said, Linux is case sensitive. If you save a file by the name Maxwell, then when you're searching for it, you search for it using Maxwell, you won't find it. Because this one and this one are two different things. Maxwell. These are different things. These are all different things. So heads up, Linux is case sensitive. Be sure to check on that. So so the root directory, then there's the bin, there's the etc, home, oops, temp, user, vr. You don't need to know these as per now. What's in all of them, you don't need to know that. But by default, when you log into Linux, by default, you will be somewhere here. You'll be in this home directory, somewhere here. If so, if by default when you log in, you'll be somewhere here, depending on your username. So for my case, where am I? So for my case, by default, my username is anonymous user. So by default, whenever I log in, I'll log in the home/anonymous user directory. If your name is let's say Emmanuel, by default, if you log into Emmanuel, by default, you'll spawn in the /home/Emmanuel directory. Okay, that's how it works. By default, you'll spawn somewhere here. So let's say my name was Jason. I'll spawn here. So as Jason, this is my environment. So I'll spawn here. These are the things I have access to. So for these ones, with the time, you'll get to know what's inside them. But if you spawn here, you can as well just go back. Let's say I'm here and I want to go back here. What do? Just cd into the root. pwd there. Where am I? Root folder. ls. So these three, you see these ones, the first level directories, these ones. For my case, mine are these ones. Bin, dev, home, that, all these. If I have permission, I can move into all of them. Let's say I want to move into the bin directory. cd, bin, pwd, yes, in the bin directory. If you want to move backwards a single step, you can do cd dot. It takes you back a single step. pwd, there, I'm in the root directory. ls, I'm back there. So the idea with the terminal, the first thing before you do anything, you have to be comfortable with navigating within the Linux terminal. Like you're supposed to have this thing at the back of your head. You don't have to cram it. With the time, you'll just know. Where am I? I'm in the root directory. What's in the root directory? We have all these. Where do I want to go? I want to go into the home directory. So cd home there. Clear to make up space. So what's in here? In the home directory, we have the anonymous user directory. I want to get into it. What do I do? cd no. Press tab because it's too long. It auto completes it for you. Enter. ls. There. Up to this point, are we on the same page? Is there anyone who's left behind? Up to this page, are we on the same page with everyone? Hope I'm not going too fast. If I'm going too fast, just mention. Okay. I believe. Okay, nice. I believe we're on the same page. Okay, so what's next? So Linux directory structure is different from Windows, and it's important to understand core folders. So those directories, they're not similar in every Linux distribution, but there are those you will find in any Linux system. These ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These six, you'll find them in any Linux distribution. You won't miss them. We have the root directory. This one, the slash. This is the base. This one here. You won't miss it anywhere. We have the slash home. This is where user directories are located. When you log in by default, you will be under a directory within the home directory. Okay? Sorry. We have the slash exa slash etc. So here we have configuration files. So let's say you have an application and you need to tweak how it works. Let's say you are having an IDS, for example, let's say Snort. So an IDS, what an IDS does, it's an intrusion detection system. It detects intrusions. So if you're setting up an IDS and you want to configure it, how it should operate, like hi Snort, whenever someone tries to connect to port 22 or more than 5 times with the wrong password, that's an intrusion. Flag it. You come and configure the snort files. You'll find them under the slash etc directory. So log files are found within the slash var directory. So let's say you're doing forensic analysis. Let's say there was an incident. The system was tampered with. So you want to know what was tampered with, at what time, who did that, how. You will find those log files under this directory, the slash var directory. Essential user binaries. So so for binaries, these are um, um, applications and commands. So whenever I type a command, let's say ls, for this command to run, the terminal checks for this command's binary within the uh, within the bin directory. Let's do this where ls. So where ls, so the binaries for the ls command are located within the bin slash bin slash ls or slash user slash bin slash ls. What I'm trying to say, the bin directory contains the commands. Like if you run a command, its syntax or its procedure is located within the bin directory. You need not know that now, but it's important in the long run. Slash usr contains installed applications. These are not important, but it's useful to know them because with the time you'll realize for you to run most tools, you'll have to know these things. You'll have to know where to get the config files. You'll have to know where to get the log files if you're setting up Snort, or if Snort broke down and you have no idea how or what happened. You have to know where to check for those logs. You have to know where to get your binary files. So for you to become a super user, you'll have to know these. But the good news, you don't have to know them now. You don't have to know them in a within single session. You don't have to. You'll know them with time. Actually, you will get to master them on your own get Linux on your system, try walking around. Walk around, you'll figure out these things. Because if, let's say, you are trying to be an unethical hacker, technically, in this phase, in our current era, you can be a hacker without knowing any Linux. Because there's tools, pre-made tools, there's AI, there's everything. But guess what? Okay, you'll be able to hack into stuff, but you won't really get the pleasure out of it because you're using everything pre-made tools. You're using AI. You're using the fun is in knowing how that thing actually functions. That's where the fun is. So if you can get into that Linux system, know how to operate those files, very nice. Okay, so hands-on activity. Seeing is believing. Uh, so the objective of this is every student will practice using basic navigation commands in their own systems. So navigate from the root directory to the home directory, create a new directory and list content. So this is the task. Navigate from the root directory to the home directory, create a new directory and list its content. So task one is navigate from the directory. So clear. Sorry, clear. Where are we now? We're supposed to navigate to the root directory. cd root. To jump from one directory to another, use cd. cd means change directory. Do that. Enter. Where are we now? Root directory. Clear. Clear command is for clearing a terminal. Create more space. So task one, navigate to your home directory from the root directory. So what this means, currently we're in the root directory. We're supposed to get to our home directory. Where do we find that? We find it here. So cd home, enter. D by D. Where are we? We are in the home directory. So here, let's say we had 50 users. Okay. So for the 50 users, let's say there was another user called Adesani, Joshua, uh, Juliet, Johnson. So if we had all these users, they will be listed here. So in the home directory, we will have my directory, which is anonymous user. We will have Adesani, we will have Joshua, we will have Juliet, we will have Johnson. So navigate to your home directory. So in this case, my home directory is anonymous tab complete there. wd, where am I? I'm in the home directory, specifically in my directory, which is anonymous user. Make sense? Make sense? Okay. Next task is create a new directory. So for creating a new directory, as I said, directories are folders. The command for creating a new directory is known as mkdir, make directory. mkdir, mkdir. Oh, so create a new directory. Let me call it um, cybersec. Sorry, cybersec. So when I ls, here it is. Where is it? Yeah, cybersec. Okay. So we've created a new directory within our home directory. Next one was and list its contents. List its contents. So for me to list its contents, there are two ways. Okay, I can cd into the directory cyber tab to complete it. Then within, now I'm inside the cybersecurity directory, and I can ls enter. There's nothing inside it. Let me create a file inside this directory. So to create a file, we use touch. Let me call the file max.txt and ls. Now within the cybersec directory, we have max.txt. Okay, let me move just a step behind. Where am I now? I'm an anonymous user. What do we have? Okay, so I can list the contents of um, the cybersec directory from wherever I am. How? I can do ls that, then there's this asterisk. This ls space. Sorry, asterisk. So whenever you come across these asterisks, I don't know what it's called. Is it asterisk? Is it star? What it means, it tells the terminal like, hey, I'm talking about the current directory. Okay, like let's say I'm here, okay, and I want to list the contents of this directory here. So if I'm here and I want to list the contents of these, I will type ls, then I'll have to reference it all the way from up here, like ls space slash for this slash home slash json slash documents. Do it make sense? Let me do notepad. Okay. So let me do this easily. Just a minute. Okay. There. So let's say I am here. So currently in the home directory. The home directory. So currently I'm in the home directory. I'm here. And I want to list the contents of this directory down here. And I am here. So there are two ways. Way one, it's I jump from here to here. So cd JSON. Then from JSON, I type ls documents. ls documents. So I type ls documents when I'm here in this directory. Okay. Way two is I was here, right? I was here, right? Way two is I can ls, then I refer all the way from the top. You have to refer all the way from the top. ls slash home slash json slash documents. There, these ls slash home slash json slash documents. Okay, but this is very long. Okay, but currently in the home directory. What's my home directory? In this scenario, my home directory is slash home slash json. So an easier way for me to list the contents of these when I'm here is just slash ls space shift asterisk slash documents. What this means, it means, hey, within my current directory, where am I currently? Currently, I'm here. Okay, so it saves me the time. So, instead of me typing these, I just skip this by putting this asterisk, then space, then backslash documents. Let's see how that works. So currently, where am I? I'm here. I am here in my home directory. I want to see the contents of this directory. Method one is I can cd into this directory, then list its contents. Method two, I can cd slash home slash anonymous user. Sorry. Ls ls slash home slash anonymous user slash cyber. There. But if I don't want to type a lot, I can just do ls space shift asterisk slash cyber there it is slash cyber. No, not supposed to do that. Slash What are we doing wrong? ls then this slash slash cyber. Yeah. No. There's something you're doing wrong. Not supposed to do that. Okay. Let me find out what that is. But you do get the idea. I don't know why the asterisk isn't working. Maybe there's some step I'm forgetting. But generally, that's the idea behind it. That's how you navigate through directories. Yes. I don't know why the asterisk isn't working. Maybe there's some step I'm skipping. And that's the interesting part about Linux. You always have to find something to solve. Fair enough. So we've done this. Open terminal, use pw to check current, blah blah blah. We've done that. So fun fact for day one, did you know the Linux mascot Tax the penguin was inspired by a penguin that beat in a Stovers at a zoo. The penguin became the official mascot to represent the friendly and unassuming nature of Linux. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we've used more than 40 minutes to show the first presentation, which is very funny. This was supposed to take 25 minutes. Up to there, is there anyone who has any question? Anyone who has a question they want to ask? Okay, space to the asterisk, okay? Let me try that. ls space after the asterisk, okay. Keep that space that uh, oh yeah, it actually worked. Actually worked. You see here the contents of cybersec. But cannot access blah 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 no such file or directory. But here's the content of the same directory. Very funny. And that's the interesting part about Linux. You will always have something to think about. Now I'm thinking about that. So before we proceed to the next slide, is there anyone who has a question? We've taken so much time in this. The reason why that has taken so much time, it's because it's something very important. You'll have to know how to work around that the file system. You'll have to know how to jump from one place to another, because most of the time you'll be using that. But as you specialize further, depending on how you want to use Linux, for our case, we want to use it for offensive security. There are things you'll be using more often, and there are things you won't be using. And we will see that in time. Okay, so since there's no other question, let us move to the second next thing, which is file and directory management. I'll try go over this as fast as possible so that we cover as much as possible. But then again, you won't learn as much from my presentation. You will learn as much from practicing. So if you practice and practice and practice, you get to know them. And mastering this structure is very important because this is a map. It's a map template to help you navigate the Linux system. Okay, so our next one is file and directory management. File and directory management. So the objective of this, by the end of this, you should be able to create, delete, move, and copy files and directory in Linux. They'll also be introduced to basic text editing of the terminal. Okay. So, creating and deleting files and directories. So, I talked about this earlier. In Linux, we have two things. In Linux, we have directories, and we have in Linux, we have directories, and we have files. Okay, directories are equivalent of folders in Windows. Okay, files are just files. In Windows, you still call them files, but now they have different extensions. We have .txt, we have .bin, we have .vsop. Is it vsop? Okay. We have very many file extensions. Now, when you want to create a directory, you use mkdir followed by the name of the directory. Okay. Let's say I want to create a directory called Joseph. I'll say mkdir Joseph. That's it. I want to create a file called Joseph. Search Joseph. Those are two different things. One creates a directory called Joseph. The other creates a file called Joseph. Okay. Okay. So touch used to create new files. For example, touch my file.txt. This one creates a file called my file with an extension of it's a .txt file. Command mkdir it's used to create directories known as folders in Windows. So mkdir followed by the name of that directory. Then we have rm, remove. Remove. The remove command is used to delete files. Example, remove my file.txt removes the file called my file.txt. The command remove directory, remove dir, it removes directories. Used to delete directories and the content. Okay, let me demo that. So, where are we now? We are in the home directory. So, I'll create, let me make a directory called test. Then, let me make a file called test. Let me list my content. So, we have touch test. There's something I can't see here. So, we have a directory called test. Oh, touch test dot txt. Ls. Nice. Ls. So, if you check here, we have the directory we've just created known as test, and the file we've created known as test.txt. Okay, so for my settings, directories are blue, files are white. Okay, so if I want to delete this directory, I'll do remove directory, then the name of the directory, test ls. You see, now we don't have the test directory. Here we had it. Okay, here we don't have it. And I've used remove directory test, and it has worked because it's an empty directory. Another key detail, empty directories, empty directories can remove them using remove dir followed by the name. Okay, but for directories that have something inside, remove directory, you had the flag, then the name. What this flag is, recursively, remove recursively. What this tells the terminal is, remove this directory and everything inside it. Okay? Okay. Let me create the directory again. So make directory test. Then let me see the into test. Inside test, let me create a file known as hh.txt. Okay, let me move 5 steps. Where am I? We are here. So, now we have the test directory and there's something inside it. Let me try removing it using test. Failed to remove tests because directory is not empty. So if you want to remove a directory that has something inside, you do mdir underscore r test 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 test. Okay. Sorry. rm r test. Yeah. So for deleting directory with something inside, it's not rm ar, it's rm. remove -r, then the name. Okay, ls. You can see the test directory is not there. Clear. And then another thing, if you've noticed, it's not really necessary to cram the commands. It's okay not to know the commands. You can actually check. And another useful command, if you don't know what a command does, you can always run man. Let's say you don't know what rm does, you can always do man rm. So what man is a manual. Okay, man is a manual. So man, then the command. So let's say I don't know what rm does, I can run man rm. So it gives me the manual. The name rm, it removes files or directories. So you can go through it, and it will show you how to use it. Here's the option we were using, -r, removes directories and the content recursively. Let's go D, removes empty directories. Explain what is being done. Let me try this one. So if you don't know what a command does, you can always do rm space -r. No, you can always run manual, man, then the command. It shows you exactly what the command does. And that one will come in handy very many times, because most of the times you won't know how to use a command. Always remember, man is there to help. To quit this, press Q. So let us do ls. Yeah. So, and to remove a file, rm test dot txt ls. So we've removed that. So the idea of this, it's you're not supposed to cram what I'm doing, but if you practice long enough, you'll be able to know. And if you've noticed something, I've been making mistakes along the way. Actually, I never really prepped for this. Like I didn't sit down and practice what I'll be doing here, which command, which command. No, I wanted it to be as plain as possible, so that you get to know what it actually feels like. Okay. So when you don't know what a command does, man is there for you. Okay. It's an interface to the system reference manuals. Okay. So let's say you don't know what ping does. You can always run man ping. So ping, it send ICMP echo request to network host. So yeah, not that. We've done these ones. Copying and moving files. So copying, for copying we use the cp command. Copy the file with txt, the new path. Recursively. Okay, let's do copy. Ls. So let's say I want to copy this into this directory. I want to copy this file into this directory. So what I'll do is cp, begin with what I'm copying, mx, tab completes it for you. Copy that. Then where do I want to copy it into? I want to copy it into slash slash. Let me try something. Okay, actually works. Let's ls type there. Okay, let me explain what I've just done. So if you want to copy the content of something, another thing I've discovered just now, very funny. If you want to copy it, cp, that's the command for copying. Then whatever you want to copy comes first. For this case, I want to copy this file. So it's cp mxwell. Where do I want to copy it into? Into this directory. Documents B O C U. Press tab, autocomplete it, enter. Then list the contents of document. Here. I've copied it into here. And something I've just noticed now, when you are running something, you don't have to do a full referencing, so long as whatever you want to run is within the directory you are doing. Okay, so here I was in /home/JSON directory. Okay, if I want to copy something and it's within this directory, I don't have to reference it fully beginning from root, like /home/JSON, then to the place. I don't have to do that. I can just do it directly. So long as I am within the same directory. I don't know if I'm making sense. In this case, I am where am I am in this directory. Okay, I am in this directory, and I want to copy this from here to here. Okay, so just cp mxwl. Where do I want to paste it? I want to paste it here. Okay, I would have done /home/no blah blah, then /documents. Okay, I would have done this, but to save time, I can as well just delete these ones and do that because we are in the same directory. I hope I'm making sense. Am I making sense? Okay, fair enough. So that's how the cp command works. We have the mv command. So the mv command is used for two purposes. You can use it to move directories. You can use it to move something from somewhere to somewhere else, or you can use it to rename files or directories. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. So where am I? Where are we? Where am I? Command. I keep saying where am I? So it's pwd to figure out where you are. I'm in my home directory. List content. Okay. So the mv command is used for renaming and moving. Okay. So let's say I want to rename this file. Okay. I can move mmxweal. That's the old name. Now the new name is Maxwell Omondi. LS. You see? I've renamed it. Okay. If I wanted to move it, let's say I want to move this from here into here, I'll do mv Omondi, and I want to move it into the downloads folder. LS. You see, it's not here, but if I ls downloads, here it is. Okay, it is, so it's inside here. Okay, so there's something cd downloads, and that's there. So currently it's inside here. If I want to move it outside back into here, I'll do cd mv Maxwell Omondi. Where do I want to move it into? Now currently I am here. I won't find it. I am where I'm running this command. I am in the downloads directory. Okay, I want to move it back into my home directory here. Okay, so what I'll do, I want to move it from where it is to my home directory. I'll do /home/ no, that's my home directory. Enter. Move back a step, and yes, there. I hope everyone is getting what I'm doing. Then another thing, it's okay if it doesn't make sense now. That's normal. But it will actually make sense when you actually start practicing it. It will start making more sense. It will make more sense when you start doing it. The moment you install Kali Linux in your machine, just tweak around with it, play around with everything. If it breaks, fine. Clear. So that's how we use MV for renaming and copying files. So we have viewing and editing files. So for this one, it's actually a unit on its own. A unit on its own. I'll skip it because it will consume over 10 minutes because it's a unit on its own. So, but a brief synopsis, in Linux, we have Vim and Nano. Okay. In Linux, we have Vim and Nano. Like in Windows we have Word, Notepad, Notepad plus, sticky notes, I guess, sticky notes. So Vim and Nano, they are word editors. They help you edit a document. Okay, they help you edit a document. They help you with stuff like the way you will use Word. Okay, so by default, most people prefer Nano because it's easier to use than Vim. But for my case, I prefer Vim. There's normally a joke about Vim that people normally find it hard to exit Vim. So what do? How do you exit Vim? You shut down the computer. Because though Vim it's actually easy, it's just that it has some rules that if you forget, you'll have a hard time. So I won't go deep into that, but if you want to open a file using Vim, you do Vim followed by the name of the file. If the file doesn't exist, Vim will create it by default. So let's say Vim class 1. There. What that has done is it has created a file called class 1. Now, for Vim, there are two modes. There is insert mode and there is interactive mode. So in this mode, I'm trying to type, but you can't type anything because currently it's not in insert mode. To get into insert mode, you press I. Now we are in insert mode. Now you can type. My name is Maxwell. I am Maxwell. After you finish typing, to get back into the non-interactive mode, you press escape. To save, it's you press shift, then this symbol here. Let me repeat that first. Get back into interactive mode. Sorry. Press I. Once you press I, you see this insert here. You can type. I love tweaking stuff. Once you're finished typing and you are ready to save, you press escape. When you press escape, this insert disappears. See? Escape disappears. After it disappears, this is specifically for Vim. You press shift, then that symbol, this one here. I don't know the keyboard you will be using at the time, but it's you come up with this keyboard symbol. To save in Vim, it's W. Okay? To save is W, enter. I've saved it. Shift, that symbol. To quit, it's Q. I've quit. So cut plus what cut does, it helps you view the content of a file. That's the content of the file I've just created. Here's the file. So cut enables you view the contents of that file. Yeah. That was just by the way. So for this one, I'll skip. Everyone normally has their own text editor of choice. Some prefer Nano, some prefer Vim, some V. Depends what you want. Okay. So there's this activity here, but I don't know if we can do it right now because I see we only have 11 minutes left. So I don't know how we are going to do this. We want to do this as an interactive activity so that we gauge where we are. So for this, we were supposed to create this file system as it is, create this, then modify it to this. I don't know if that is going to be possible, though I would have preferred someone else to do it so that we walk through it. So, but if we do it, I think this will be the last thing we will be doing today because it will consume a lot of time. So, quick one, what do you think we should do? Should we do that exercise? And if we do it, someone else has to share the screen and I'll walk them through where necessary.
Yes, we can do it for them to be familiar with the commands.
Okay, thank you. Any volunteer, anyone who has Linux and will want to volunteer?
Sorry, what was the question?
Okay, so this is what I want us to do. I want anyone who has Linux ready and they will come up with this file hierarchy as it is, the way it is. Create these, then put these under these, put these under those. Create these, then we will later modify it into these. So what I want is anyone who's ready. I'll walk you through. Is Ahmed ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, nice. Share your screen. Nice. So,
I mean, you can just tell me what to do, like make directory, what directory to make and everything.
okay. As we wait for the setup to be made. So currently, where are you in?
I'm on my home page.
Home directory. So, the first thing you'll create is create a directory called my call.
Michael?
Yep. Okay. Just a minute. Let me also put mine side by side so that it's easy for me to see. Then create these directories. Create a directory called Asia, Europe, Africa, America.
Inside the Michael directory.
Yes, inside the Michael directory.
What should I make?
Create a directory called Asia,
Mm-hmm.
Europe,
Mm-hmm.
Africa,
Mm-hmm.
then America. Nice. Inside the Asia directory, get into the Asia directory, create a directory called China, another one called India. Now, inside the India directory, cd India. Nice. Create a file called Mumbai. No. Yeah. Oh, now I can see your screen.
Okay.
So inside, yeah, create. No, not a file. Is it possible to create a file inside a file?
Inside the India.
Yeah. So inside India, create a directory called Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah. Inside that, create mkdir Mumbai. Nice. Thank you. So, Ahmed, let us continue just a minute.
Yeah, done that.
Okay. So inside Mumbai, create a text file called city.txt.
Okay.
Nice. Now I want you to go back to the root of Michael, get into Europe. CD space dot dot. Where are you now in Michael? Nice. I think you're in the right place. Now get
Okay.
into Europe. Nice. Now, yeah. Create two directories inside Europe, UK and Morocco.
UK and what?
Morocco. Nice. So inside UK, get into UK, create a directory called London. Nice. Inside London, create a file called tottenham.txt. Tottenham.txt. Nice. Now head back. Nice. Head back to Europe. Nice. 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 Now get into. Oh, there's nothing in Morocco. Actually, go back another step. Nice. get into Africa. Inside Africa, create a directory called Egypt. Inside Egypt, create a directory called Cairo. Nice. Now go back to the root and get into America. CD dash dash. Go back to Michael. Yeah.
Oh, to Michael.
Yeah. Nice. You've gone back further. Get into Michael. Yes. Get into America. CD America. Yes. Inside America, create a directory called USA. Nice. So you've completed the before. Now, for after, you're supposed to. Uh-huh. Where is it? Let me figure out what's supposed to be going on. I can't really figure. Okay, I'm trying to understand what's supposed to be done after, but I can't figure it out. But basically, that's the idea. If okay, let's do this. Head over to India.
Attendance, please, Abby. Nǹkan náà tó láti 10.
Okay.
Hello, madam. Please don't disrupt our class, please. The attendance will be shared. We are still going through the practical now. Thank you.
Just 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes. Let me finish this. 4 minutes and it'll be through.
So you
Thank
want to go where?
Head over to India. It's in Asia. So I want you to change the name Mumbai, change it to South Africa. Mhm. Mhm. Nice. I guess we will leave it at that. Hamid, I can tell you have extensive experience on Linux. This isn't your first time, right?
No.
Yeah, I can tell. So, guys, that's it. I guess the facilitator will share the screenshot with everyone else so that everyone will get to try it out. And I was having 4 things, but because of time, we won't be able to complete the fourth one, the two other ones. But what I can say is, the more you practice on your own, the more you know. And I was to share a platform. It's called OverTheWire. So I don't know if I can share my screen on this one last time.
Yes, go on, sir. Go on, sir. So just go ahead.
Okay. So I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
So this platform here, it's called OverTheWire. It has very many games. It simulates. It's supposed to help you understand. So for the wire, there's this Bandit game. Let me refresh it. The Bandit game, level 0. Try and do these things because it it helps you understand Linux more. And heads up, you won't be able to do everything. There's AI, there's other resources to help you do everything. So come here, level 0, level 1, there's instructions here. So try as much as possible, solve those. There's YouTube tutorials, learn how to solve these things. If by the time you do this thing and get to level 34, you'll have Linux at your fingertips. That's the goal of this game. So guys, that's it for me today. We were not able to extensively go through Linux, but as I said, the more you do on your own, the more you get to know. I don't have any other thing to say. For those who love questions, I think the facilitators can channel a way of people reaching me out. I'll be happy to help where I can, and we see how this goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maxwell, for the class. We are so grateful. Thank you so much for the class. Thank you for the teaching thus far. It was extensive. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed Ajibade, for your active participation.